All right, let's get into it, huh?
Yeah. I just see Trump all over it. Trump this, Trump that, Trump this.
It, it, it's it's all Trump news, you know. It's the limelight of everything right now, guys. I don't know. It might be a little bit of a touchy subject. I don't know, but there is another war going on in the Middle East. We got. Did you see that they allowed that journalist in their war plans chat on Signal on accident?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it was an accident. I don't think they let him, but you beat me to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was definitely on accident, obviously, but
Yep.
man,
And it was a journalist for the other side too.
that's great.
What?
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I guess there's some bombings going over there in Yemen. Trump is threatening to bomb Iran because obviously Iran funds the Houthis in some aspect, and Trump's just not playing around right now. Do we think that's going to take a toll on the markets?
No. I feel like it's kind of irrelevant. I mean, unless it escalates to a actually bigger
I'll
conflict, but
say
I
it like
think
this,
it's
dude.
just I
I'll
think it's whatever news.
I'll say it like this. The whole time we were in Afghanistan, and well, not the whole time, but like the economy was booming. It really was. Crypto was booming. The economy was booming.
Yeah.
I don't know. Take what you will from that.
Elon is asking to get shot
Whoa.
by dude, I'm just
Whoa.
not
What the?
not by me. Not by
I know,
me.
but like, come what? Like, what the? Why are you fired off like that?
Too strong of a hook?
A little bit. He's a
I
government
was
figure
trying
now, bro.
I was trying to get the audience's
He's a
attention.
government figure. This is you.
What?
This is you right now. This was you.
So,
Elon's asking to get shot.
I mean, it's true. Everyone else that's ever gone against the Federal Reserve is kaputs.
Who went against the Federal Reserve?
Yeah, there's this theory. There's this theory. I'm not saying that I believe in it. There's this theory though that a lot of what happened in World War II was extremely magnified because Adolf Hitler was kind of going against the Federal Reserve and the dollar standard. And then there was another person too, I believe it was a Russian dictator when they were trying to go against the Federal Reserve. A war happened right after, and he ended up dying. Uh just saying, going against the Federal Reserve is going against like the actual cabal itself, is it not?
No, I get that. No, I mean I understand that. Yeah, I mean that's our economy. Was there anyone like a political figure in the U.S. that was against the Federal Reserve in the past? That is no
JFK
longer
was.
really.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So I mean, that's why I had to come in there with that hook. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how serious Elon was about it because it was at like one of those conferences or whatever that he was speaking at. I think it was in Wyoming, or Wisconsin. I'm sorry, and some guy asked him, "What do you think of the Federal Reserve? And what do you like? What are your plans with it?" And he was like, "And the Fed," but like he said it like in a laughing manner. So I don't know how. I don't know, but he could be serious.
That's that'll be something if that happens.
Yeah, no, that'd be pretty crazy. So the USAID, that scam department, is being shut down.
See, that's easier to shut down. But when you're trying to shut down the Illuminati itself and the Rothschilds, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, no, I know. But yeah, it's there's it looks like there isn't going to be any restructuring of this department. Uh and it's going to be going away for sure. I didn't even know what they did in the first place, just going back to like why this department was being targeted in the first place. Like I don't know. But yeah, Trump told NBC today that he's seeking for a third term. And he's saying there's methods on doing so. That's pretty crazy.
Is there really? What would be the method?
I'm assuming that there's some type of loophole because like he didn't serve 2 terms consecutively, that maybe he could serve another term because it would be consecutive because the last one wasn't, and that could void his first term. Not sure, but that's what he told NBC.
Hmm. I'm gonna have to look that up. But I just ChatGPT'd it real quick.
Dude, you live by ChatGPT.
No, I don't, dude. I always fact check it, and ChatGPT is wrong all the time
I don't know. I feel like it. I feel like
because the
you.
22nd Amendment.
Ooh,
Unless
okay,
there's a constitutional amendment change, which would require 38 of the 50 states to vote on it.
man. I don't know. So stuff. Some wild time, dude.
But I
Just
mean, dude, I mean, it's like, why not just put Vance up there? Like, if they got the play, because it's just going to be what happened with Biden and Obama. Vance will be in the
yeah.
chair, but it'll be Trump running the play.
Mr. Please would be in the chair. You don't know that meme?
No, sounded like
That's
Mike Tyson though.
it's the biggest meme in the world.
Mm.
Well, it was for a little bit. Yeah. Speaking of Chat GPT, who here? You guys saw me.
Unreal.
You guys saw me put it in the chat like a couple of days ago, asking what the hell Ghiblification was. I had no idea what the hell it was, but apparently Ghibli is a huge anime studio, right? You guys, I'm sure you've seen all this Ghibli stuff all over Twitter and whatnot. You had the White House tweeting it, you had Elon tweeting it, everybody in the mother tweeting all this Ghibli artwork. OpenAI came out and said, and they had to limit people from processing these Gimli images because it was literally melting their GPUs. And their staff had to like stay super overtime, like maintaining it.
Like, if you ever watched that episode in Silicon Valley where everyone's on their servers and they're just trying to maintain the things from not blowing up the whole time and overheating,
Yeah,
it's kind
bro.
of like that.
They
Dude,
probably limit
I got restricted as a paid user today. I had to
and
wait 9 minutes for my
they're
next
being
photo. I was like,
overloaded.
bro,
They're probably going into the server room with literal garden hoses and splashing water everywhere.
I don't care, dude. With how much money they have, pick it up.
I know.
Pick it up.
I
No
mean,
excuses.
you know what I just thought about? This like makes it I don't know, this kind of just reinforces the whole like efficiency
Deep
thing with with OpenAI.
But I mean, DeepSeek was a scam. Come on, let's be
Not
real.
yeah, I mean, well, not even DeepSeek, just like AI in general, and how much more efficient people could probably make it. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see, but it doesn't necessarily help hearing this, right? Especially for Nvidia, where they just came off of a kind of like a whole AI scare, right?
Mm.
Like, oh, what? Oh, what? Now this few $100 billion company can't handle a load of images being generated because the Nvidia GPUs aren't working. Can't handle it.
Oh,
The domino effect.
It's melting.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about some crypto.
Yeah. Can I
Get some more, dude. You need more energy, Art, because like 5 minutes ago you were screaming and making it just making noises, and you were
I
just so
burnt myself
excited.
out from it.
You're just so excited 5 minutes ago, bouncing off the walls. I can't wait for market update.
It's true. I think I'm crashing now from all the caffeine.
You ain't pooped.
But yeah, I guess I'm trying to figure out how I kind of want to get into the next segment because there's even more stuff to talk about
So
with
much
like,
stuff.
yeah. All right, let's just get into crypto and then I'll do charts after that. How about that? But skip over the stuff that I want to talk about because I'm just going to tie it in at the end.
Are you okay? You want me to start off?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
ETH's
What's up
looking
with
real
ETH?
bad. We'll start with that. How about that? Like ETH is like, what's going on, man?
ETH is looking bad, but chat, do you guys see where we bounced? 1750. You guys see how we're playing those same levels back and forth? 1750, 1850, and then upwards to 2100s. Same levels back to back to back. March 11th was 1750s.
How do you think ETH as a whole, like like not technically wise, not chart wise? How do you
Mhm.
think it's doing as a whole, man? Like people are really fudding it so bad that the 24-hour revenue drops below 100K for Ethereum.
Dude, you know what? Enough is enough with this FUD with ETH, okay? All these people want to FUD it, talk crap, and then what are they trading? Some bullshit layer 2 that was built on ETH 99% of the time. So I don't want to hear it. ETH is far from done. Vitalik is not going to let this thing just not be what he wants it to be. Like if you're ever going to bet on a team, you can bet on that guy at least. So no, I don't think ETH is done. And on a technical perspective, it's in a really good buying area. At $1,600, I'd be buying a ton, like 1550s if we could get there. I'd be buying a ton.
I think ETH is going to be the most hated rally you've ever seen. Right?
Yeah.
Like all the top dogs in crypto. I don't even want to call them top dogs. I want to call them delusional dogs. uh like they forget they forget their place, right? And I don't like the top when I say top dogs, I'm talking like the coals of crypto. They forget how small their money is compared to institutional money, right? They act
Mm-hmm.
like they act like they're moving markets. They're really not. They think their words actually doing so. Nah, dude. Like, I mean, you'll see. This is why people are wrong in their predictions, because in reality, the the big true coal is the institutional money. They're the ones that are actually moving the markets, and nobody knows what they're up to, right? Nobody knows what they like.
Well, to kind of touch up on that is what's getting filings in ETFs, Ethereum, not this other bullshit out there.
Yeah.
And if we're looking at what are the top dogs doing, just look at World Liberty Financial's biggest holding. It's Ethereum.
Yeah.
You think they're not going to want to try to pump that bag? I know for a fact Chase Hero's biggest holding is ETH. You think he's not going to want to get that bag pumped? And I
Yep.
think you're right. It is going to be the most hated rally because so many people, so many of the so-called, like KOLs online and those cool kids online are the ones that are trying to short it, and it's just going to be a big blowout.
Yeah.
I think.
Like that's why I say it's gonna be the most hated rally, because like from surface level, when you go on crypto Twitter, it makes it seem like everyone hates ETH, right? But then again, like we just mentioned, institutions aren't going on Twitter saying, bull posting their favorite token. They're talking with cash. They're talking with cash, and they're talking with motion. That's how I and that that's That's the big picture of things. Um, but yeah, I mean, and listen too, like we're just all the signs are on the wall, right? You have FDIC saying banks don't need permission to engage in crypto now. The Fed already said it. You had Larry Fink come out today saying, "Oh, he's I wouldn't say worried, but like he's saying the dollar is at risk of losing its reserve position to Bitcoin." Time to load up.
I did see that too.
Time to load up.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, Mr. Larry Fink.
Hey, Chad, I got a question for you guys. Who engaged in Luna a few years ago? Or last like when
Luna that
Luna
went to Zip.
Yeah.
I did.
You did?
A,
Who
a
else,
lot of us
chat?
did. A lot of us in the NSU did.
Well, where does Luna come from?
Is that 3 arrows?
No, it's Terraform Labs. Terra Luna?
Yeah. Duh.
They're going to be opening their creditor refund claims soon. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, but we saw that FTX refunds did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they didn't
I
put
don't
any.
think.
They didn't. I mean, did they? What's the status on that though? Like,
Some people. So anyone under 50,000 should have gotten money sent to them already so far,
via
and then
which,
people with larger accounts still they still have to wait, which is crazy.
like a check? They got sent a check, or was it a deposit form, or?
Check in cash, not crypto. Cash deposit.
Yeah, but like, was it like a? Could they filled out a direct deposit form, or was it like a mailed in paper check?
Mailed in. Yeah.
I mean,
It went through a huge claim. It took like literally 3 years to process almost. No, 2.5 years.
and you think those people received their checks already, like all of them, or you know?
What was supposed to happen is this month people were supposed to get checks.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know if people have been getting them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not seeing all this liquidity, this new liquidity shoot back into the market.
Nope.
Yeah.
Um we got the Stable Act that gets voted on April 2nd.
What's that?
Basically act to basically verify if stable coins are backed. Really similar to, if you guys remember the conversations we were having in June about the Mika Act that was passed in Europe, how heavy they regulated stable coins, just making sure that the stable coins had backings. So there was another act that got passed. It was called the Genius Act. And the Genius Act is already passed 2 votes now. It's on the last step into the Senate House. But then there's one more that's kind of going up the chain right now, which is the Stable Act, which is really similar, but without as much scrutiny. So I know with the Stable Act, there's basically like what's the word for it? There's like a 2-year. Oh, why am I brain farting right now? There's like a 2-year. Oh my god,
You need a coffee, dude.
I do. Uh, Basically, like if there's a new stable coin that comes out into the market, they basically have to test it for 2 years. So it's like a 2-year trial period. Jesus. and then there's no dollar threshold that the stable coin has to have. So for example, someone could like launch a stable coin and only have like 5 million or 10 million in liquidity. But with the Genius Act, you have to have 10 billion at least. Um,
Mm.
so but Trump is pushing to get both passed. If the stablecoin one passes, they can get coins and they can get coins and stable coins out into the market quicker, but not as regulated. And like there's all these kind of like concerns now, and like that's what's kind of being spoken about now. Like when they kind of like ask other people that are passing the vote on both sides, like what their opinions are. And a lot of the people are saying right now, it's kind of like a weird waters because Trump is so involved in so many crypto projects that, like the stuff that he's trying to push can almost be kind of biased in a way, because he has World Liberty Financial. Now he has this stable coin. He has the NFTs, he has meme coin. He's like almost too involved. Um, and they just got even more involved, which is kind of the topic that I wanted to wait on. But I guess since we're kind of already going going that way, I'm not sure if you guys saw the news that came out on Hut Miner. So if you guys remember last week, we were talking about a stock called Hut, and that was a crypto mining company. And we brought that up because Blaster had put out a trade on Mara, which is another crypto mining company, and Mara had pumped like crazy. So I said to put Hut on your radar. So it goes Mara as the number one company that has the most Bitcoins for companies that are miners. And then it's Riot, and then it's Hut. MicroStrategy has more, but they're not a miner company. So Hut, okay, they just announced that they're basically teaming up with Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr., basically the Trump family, to create a new company called American Bitcoin. So Hut is a mining company, but they also provide infrastructure and power. So let's say like another mining company wanted to mine, they could actually get the infrastructure and the power built from Hut, right? So with this new company, American Bitcoin is only going to mine, but of course, to get set up, they're gonna use Hut to get their infrastructure and get everything set up. So Hut owns 80% of American Bitcoin, and then the Trump family owns 20% of American Bitcoin. And that's just the name for it. It's just American Bitcoin. It doesn't mean that that goes on the reserves for the US or something like that. So yeah, you can see that Trump is definitely in the crypto mix, and that's why like with him trying to push a lot of crypto legislation, which what I can see, right? It's like, okay, he's involved with a lot of stuff. So there is kind of that like, that gray area. It's like, okay, why is he really trying to get some of these things passed? But with all that said, right, we have to think, this is one of the most crypto friendly presidents out there. And if we look at where the US is on kind of a global adoption scale, we're still behind Singapore, we're behind the UAE. So we have a lot more stuff to do, and I know Trump is really competitive. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Um, he's really pro crypto, but being pro crypto, he's super involved in pro crypto. So kind of it's kind of like an automatic thought that any kind of bill that he might push out would be, maybe that he's trying to do it for his own good, but I don't think it's that personally. I think it's for the better good of crypto. Could some of the things that he passes help out his pocket? For sure. Oh, and speaking of miners, Mara, if you guys saw, is selling $2 billion of stock to buy Bitcoin. So what are they doing? They're adopting the Sailor technique: sell stock to buy more Bitcoin. It's what's the common narrative that's happening right now?
Dude, it's a Bitcoin arms race, Bitcoin race.
Right. And what have we been saying? Not every live, but have been saying through lives for 7 to 8 months. If you listen to the lives, if I don't say the race to accumulation at least 10 times in the last 6 months, I owe you an ETH. But I dead ass have said it's the race to accumulation, it's the race to accumulation, it's the race to accumulation for Bitcoin. And you can see it all around. All these companies are trying to
Yeah, buy
accumulate
Bitcoin.
as much as
Buy
possible.
Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin.
There is no other asset.
Buy Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin. Yeah. Buy Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin.
More coffee for me, less for you.
Say buy Bitcoin.
You guys got to buy Bitcoin.
Yep. Well, anyways, you mean
Wait, did you just
so
trap me for financial advice?
no.
I said you got to buy Bitcoin.
U.S. House is going to hold a crypto hearing next week.
Oh, that'll last 20 minutes.
I think it's the House of Representatives, not the White House.
Okay, so it'll last 5.
Yeah.
And then they'll just cut it off and not say anything after.
Well, I wonder what they want to talk about. Like, what's the what do they want to talk about? Oh, market structure and legislation, huh?
Probably. Well, I mean, that vote that I was just telling you about is on the 2nd. So we'll see what that goes.
Yeah. No, I just read it's for market structure and legislation. That's what it's going to be. That's the House of Reps.
Yeah.
So they're going
Guys,
to try to pass some laws.
when are US folks going to get leverage trading? Dude, can you imagine how much volume is going to get on those exchanges? But you know what? It's because most people blow their accounts out at leverage trading,
Bro,
and the
you don't
exchange
think
makes the pie.
you
Hmm?
don't think most of the volume from leverage is from US already? You think everyone's not using a VPN?
Bro, okay, using a VPN does not cut it anymore. Doesn't cut it for
Hyperliquid
Bybit.
exists. You know how much volume Hyperliquid does now?
Yeah, I guess. You just got to use a VPN to get on.
For Hyperliquid, yeah, just a VPN.
Yeah,
Same thing with Mexi now, right?
yeah. Well, they changed their rules.
Mm-hmm. I think, and wasn't Coinbase supposed to be introducing leverage on BTC soon? BTC and ETH.
I don't know, but I think crypto.com already has it. It might have it already
Mm.
for a while. But still, like you're missing like all the good altcoins, all the stuff that people really like to trade.
Yeah, true. Guys, there's some crazy stuff. Why, dude? I don't know why, but this is making me bullish on SEI.
For what?
They acquired why would they acquire 23andMe?
Oh man, I almost did one of those tests. Now I'm glad I didn't.
They went bankrupt because of the whole data thing, right? That they were selling all the results and whatever the or giving
I
access to the
didn't hear
results.
about that. That's crazy if that's true.
I think that's why they went bankrupt too.
Why is a crypto company buying them? That's so weird.
Well, that's what I want to know. Like, why are they choosing? Let's research this. Why are they choosing to acquire 23andMe? Why is Okay, here we go. If the acquisition proceeds, the Psi Foundation plans to integrate 23andMe's data onto its blockchain and give users ownership of their genetic data, ensuring privacy through encrypted transfers, allowing individuals to decide how their data is monetized. Mm. A lot of people use 23andMe.
Yeah. Hmm.
What's Psi trading at right now?
Well, eventually all the medical data is going to be on blockchain. I think some of the people that have been here longer know that one of the first things that I learned about blockchain was its use case for medical purposes, not currency. Little fun
Dude,
fact.
size only 17 cents right now. That's kind of wild. I mean, it's not that wild, but like that's I don't know. That seems kind of cheap.
What's my boy White Rock at? 0.00006.
It was like a 430 mil market cap earlier today.
Something is up with this coin. Mark my words, man.
I think they're legit. I think they're
Something's up
legit.
with this.
I heard they got license for everything too.
Well, the rumor has it the actual company itself is a fintech company based out of Ireland.
No, yeah. You mentioned that
Yeah.
before. I heard they're the Ondo killer though. Like they're gonna wipe out Ondo.
Stop.
That's what I heard. That's the rumbles in the streets.
Not my
The
unicorn.
Ondo, the Ondo killer, dude.
Stop.
Guys, I didn't even know China was still banned crypto, but I guess they're unbanning it this year.
Dude, I feel like that's just news that they try to pump out every
Yeah,
year.
like
Every year I see China's
don't we
unbanning crypto
don't we wait for China to wake up to pump the markets
all the time.
in the middle of the night? I don't
I
understand
ca-
that.
Bro, 3-4 years ago, China was the one that was moving the market with the news saying that they're gonna ban it, unban it, they're gonna ban it, unban it. And now people just got used to it, and now no one gives a shit when they say that anymore. How many times has this been unbanned?
I guess I don't know. I can't even think. Guys, Joe Exotic launched a meme coin to pay for his lawyer bills.
Let me guess, it was on Sol.
Let me see. I didn't even look that deep into it, but I guess it was a success.
It probably was because for some reason you guys think that scummy chain is gonna survive, and it's actually a chain. It's
Tiger
just
King,
junk.
Tiger King. Actually, you know what? It looks like it was on Ethereum.
No.
Scummy chain. Stop talking shit about the chain, dude. You're crazy.
I mean, weren't you the one just telling me that half the volume on that chain is because of meme coins?
In these current conditions, yeah.
Scummy chain to me.
Wait, hold on. Who had less revenue than I think BonkBot did more revenue than Ethereum in 24 hours. Ethereum did less than 100K.
I mean, the casino is always going to make money, but it's the
So what are we
builders.
talking about over here? You want to bet on the casino, or do you want to bet on the house or on the people playing in the casino?
I'm going to bet on the people because the people that build the casinos. Boom. Mic drop.
I don't know. Listen, I think Solana is going to be a hated rally too. I think it's just as naive to hate on Solana because of like like you guys act like crime doesn't happen on any chain. Okay, they're Solana just gets all the cool shit happen.
All the cool crime happens on Sol.
Yeah, all the cool juicy crime happens on Solana. All right, you guys don't got anybody on Interpol's most wanted list scamming a whole country. You don't got any of that on Ethereum, man. You guys got Mickey Mouse crimes on there.
Hey, but why do the hackers steal ETH and not Sol?
They do just steal Soul.
Yeah, but not as much. They want the ETH.
Maybe Soul's more ironclad. That's why more secure.
Ah.
I don't know.
But it's actually proven that it's not.
That's not true.
It's actually super true.
Rust is very robust. Like very robust and way ahead of its time.
I gotta disagree.
You can disagree all you want. It's just what it is, man.
You sure about that though?
Sure.
He's got way more validators, man.
He's been around longer.
So by default, it's
Well,
technically more
I'm talking
secure.
security wise. I'm talking about you
I know, me
being
too.
able to at least listen. How many times has Ethereum had to roll back their damn chain, that damn ancient ass chain, because some exploit happened?
How many times does Sol crash when there's more than 6 people trading on it?
That's not true either. Like I'm gonna curse, Arthur. I'm gonna curse.
Don't curse. Stay cool.
And stop talking bullshit.
Who's talking BS, man?
Ethereum processes 15 transactions per second, dude. You go any more than that, you're paying $1 million in gas.
ETH has never had a network
Solana
outage,
only crashes when you smack 10,000 TPS
but
over that
ETH has never had a full network outage like Sol.
because it throttles itself, dude. There's a trade off here, right? Okay, yeah,
But we were
ETH might
talking security. Were we not? We weren't talking speed. We were talking security.
you're not even talking security. You're talking about speed too.
No, I didn't say anything about speed.
Do you think when Solana network crashes that like automatically people are just going to steal a bunch of money when it's down?
No.
Then what
I'm
what are
just
we saying?
saying. All I was saying was it's not more secure. Guys, you can obviously tell who the Sol Maxi is and who the ETH Maxi is. I mean, we get it. Sol is a fast piece of shit. We get it. Oh my god. I almost said something. I was like, holy shit, we're on live. I could have to say that word.
What were you about to say?
Woo! Dude, no way. Yo,
All right.
if you mute your microphone, I'll mute mine and scream it over to you.
All right, I'm gonna mute.
Ah! All right, we're back.
You didn't need to get that out, huh?
All right, moving on.
Oh,
Uh,
oh.
you know what? What else was a crazy rally? Crazy rally though is gold, man. Crazy rallies on gold. Another ATH
He
all-time
keeps hitting
highs for you
all-time
new
highs,
folks.
man. Gold keeps hitting all-time highs. I wish I had some gold, but I don't believe in that shit.
Yep, just
I
gonna
should,
keep
I
going,
should.
keep going on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But that was a super hated rally too.
Did anybody mint any Taproot Wizards? Any rich people in this chat mint Taproot Wizards for 0.3 BTC?
That's a crazy mint. I think that's the most expensive mint I've seen.
It's sold out too.
It's by far the most expensive mint I've
And
seen.
it's down 50% from mint price.
Oh, I would be
Just
upset.
like almost instantly. Like imagine getting that shafted that quickly because you believe in something.
That is terrible. How much is that? What 0.3 Bitcoin? What is that like? 27 G birds right now, 28 G birds.
Something crazy.
And you're down 14K right off rip. Ugh.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see a huge rally on SPY like we see on Ethereum.
Mm.
So shorted right now. Semper would be the pro on that one, but
You think it was smart of GameStop to take out debt to buy BTC?
oh yeah, how do we forget that when we were talking about Mara and Michael Saylor?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
so
GameStop is entering the race.
GameStop is trying to do the accumulation race. They sold off stock and debt, and to buy Bitcoin and put it on the reserves. Again, do we see the common pattern here or what?
Dude,
there's no way all these CEOs are dumb.
Just buy Bitcoin, dude. You buy Bitcoin, you're investing in every company in the world, in America, in the world. Screw the stock price, okay?
Fun fact, if you invest in Bitcoin, you'd be an investor in Stock Unlocked. Stock Unlocked holds Bitcoin on their asset books.
Stock Locked has entered the race.
Pump our bags.
You buy Bitcoin, you're investing in every company in the world.
It's the S&P Infinity.
People aren't going to ask, "Oh, what's their stock? What's their stock price at?" No, now they're going to ask how much
Bitcoin they got.
How much Bitcoin they got. That will tell me how valuable that company is.
What's their price to earnings?
What's their stock price? What's their stock price? 3%.
Stupid.
Got a 3, bro. Oh, they went up 3% that year. That's incredible. How much Bitcoin they got, dude? What are we talking about? Think I give a 2D2 about their stock price?
2D2.
All right, you want to go over some charts, dude?
Yep. Let me rip.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Let me rip. Let me rip. Present. Share screen.
Ladies, if your man asks you about a company you're interested in and he asks you, "What's their stock price?" break up with him right away.
You can ignore that. I was doing a little lesson. All right, guys, let's rock. So I believe we are right around that time where it's time to get some good deals in the market.
Arthur, what am I buying?
I don't give financial advice like that.
Not financial advice. What would you buy right now?
Ethereum.
What else?
And load up right around here too. 1600 high, 1500s. It's right back in that zone.
Would you be?
Yeah. What's up?
What about Bitcoin? Would you buy some Bitcoin right now?
Yeah, you guys saw me buying at 88, 84, and 80. I bought how much I wanted to buy. I'd still be scaling in right now on Bitcoin at these prices. I think it's a good price. Little fun monthly chart on the T line. On the ADMA. But I don't know, Bitcoin, I feel like if I was doing any big buys right now, I'm looking for mid 70s to low 70s. But I do like the price that ETH is at. And if we do get that dump on Bitcoin to that price, then ETH will definitely be at that 15 to 1600 price range. So let's say I was buying $100 of Bitcoin a week and $100 of Ethereum a week. At current prices, I'd be buying like 200 a week. If that helps you guys, give you guys any kind of ballpark. And then if Bitcoin does hit that sub 70K range and Ethereum does hit that high 1500s to low 1600s, then I'm going like a 4x. So I'm buying like 400 that week instead of 100, just to give you guys some context. But ETH was one of the opportunities that I wanted to go through. Actually, and just show you guys that I do think that we are in a really, really cheap place on Ethereum to start allocating if you're looking to add Ethereum in your long-term bags. I know I was just talking all that about Solana, but Solana is also in that range to start accumulating more frequently. If we dump, you know how I was saying, if we dump and ETH does hit that mid 70s, Ethereum hits that 1600 range, then look for Sol at $95. That's where I'd be buying big again on Sol, and at 95. So set some alerts up. Um, but I want to go back into the stock market. I think the stock market has sold off quite a lot. Apple, no, right? Apple's still in this great range. Um, guess what? You want to know why? Apple's not artificial intelligence; it's Apple intelligence. They don't have that crazy exposure to AI just yet.
I think they
Um,
got something up their sleeves, don't they?
oh, they do for sure, but they always slow roll. They never bite into the hype. Th-
Mm,
That's something that they're really good at.
they cook up. They're literally
Yep,
in a
and
bunker,
mm,
100 feet to the ground, in a bunker, 100 feet in the ground, cooking some wild shit up.
like Area 51. And you know what? I think the Apple Vision was I don't think they intended to like make that a profit product. I think that was a pure flex. Everyone was coming out with their shit, and Apple's like, "Hold on, dude. We've had this thing like 10 years ago. Here's our 10-year-old version." Because the
Yeah.
Apple Vision Pro that they put out, it was drafted up years ago. Years ago, actually.
Mm,
It's yeah, years ago. They're like, everyone calm down. All right. See, we got this, but we're not even gonna focus on this. It was a pure flex.
mm.
And they made it way better than anyone else made it.
Anything on the market?
Yeah. Pure flex. Um, so Apple, not the best discount, right? But I want to start looking at some of these other like bigger tech names. Amazon, I wouldn't consider like one of the bigger like super tech names in terms of it being like tech. Um, but for you supporting resistance folks, right? Resistance, previous highs of that of that cycle phase, and when we broke that over here, we hit new all-time highs, and now we're bouncing, right? So whenever an old resistance becomes a new support, you guys that have been listening for a while, you guys know what happens when old resistance becomes new support. So, decent discount on Amazon, but still not one of my favorite names for the discounts. We've had about a 20% pullback, which is a lot, but not that crazy. Um, if it drops to like upper 167, 170, big buyer there for Amazon. Uh, Google. All right, Google, big fan of right here at these levels. Big fan. Been trading Google a lot in the last like 2 years, a year and a half. And I've gotten really good at trading like the 160 to $180 range on Google, like almost to like a mathematical perfection. It plays the same levels a lot. Like buying it like 160s to 174. I think I was trading that like 5, 6 times in a row. Um, but another really good example, right? Previous high, big previous resistance area is now turning into a support area. So I really like these prices on Google for long term. I think we're in a good place for a long term. 148 to 154s, really good long term buys, especially for the value. Blast, I'll go over Walmart after the list. Um, Meta, not a fan of it yet. Still for buying. I think it's still too high up, still too exaggerated. Um, the reason why I say that compared to the other ones, right? Like when we look at Google, it's falling back into this price action area, right? But now on this right side. When we're looking at Amazon, Amazon's falling down into another area of price action. There's price action here, price action here, price action here. Meta, yeah, it had a pullback, but there's no other price action besides this little stuff right here. So there's really nothing yet for it to really pull back. So like if it pulled back to this range, then I'd start to look at Meta for some potential long-term buying, but not just yet. Um, and like Bitcoin is a really really good example of that too, on why I think the pullback might not just be done yet, because it's like why pull it back to just here? It 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 doesn't make sense to pull it back to just to here. from what I've seen throughout the years of charting, granted, it doesn't always happen, but someone that kind of watches patterns and us as traders as like watching patterns, it doesn't make sense for the dip to stop right here. It makes a lot more sense for the dip to stop right here because you get back into all this action. So it makes sense for it to just dump back into here. It just does. Let's continue the Max 7 list. Microsoft has been getting beat up. I wonder if it's because of all their OpenAI exposure. I'm not sure. But look at this pullback on Microsoft, and let's kind of like think about that same logic that I was just talking about. So this was that kind of last cycle high, and then it had like a blow off top right here with that really fast wick, and it got just sold off right after. So if I keep my mouse where this is, keep my mouse where this is, keep my mouse where this is, it comes to right around here, right there. So if it dips a little bit more, that gets us right into this area, right? It gets us into this area. It gets us into areas where there was a lot of action, and it just makes more sense for us to get over there and dip down. NVIDIA kind of matches what I was saying, right? Like, where is the big areas where there's a lot of action, right? There was a lot of action in NVIDIA right over here, and now it's kind of right back into that area. But this was one of the craziest runs that we've seen in the market in a very, very, very long time. So I'm still watching this. I'm not really sure if this is a valuable buy yet. There's not enough history for me. Tesla absolutely smoked. From all-time highs, has dropped 55%, recovered a little bit. Now it's like 45%. But this goes back into like, where are we on the chart? Like, if I'm looking at Tesla, where are we in the grand scheme of things? Does this make sense as a valuable buy, right? If we're right here, right? All the lows have kind of stayed here. This is the top, right? So much of the action on Tesla is all in this area. So just start looking at what makes a valuable sense to buy. I think Tesla is a really good value buy right now. I think Google is a really good valuable buy right now. And then SPY. This obviously outperforms everything else because it's the top 500. And we've had a pullback on SPY about 10%. So if we have one more of those dumps, right, 10 to 20% is still considered correction. So it could still be there. We'll see. If you pay attention to what happens with these tech stocks in the next, couple of days, weeks, these are going to tell you basically what's going to happen with the S&P 500 because they make just these 7 stocks make up over 35% or so of it. PLTR I just got over here just because I was looking at some value buying on this thing too. And just kind of looking at this, right? Where is PLTR trading in again? Right, it's where all this action happened. Crowd got absolutely obliterated. I thought it was a good discount. I'm just keeping it on my watch list for now. No actions on it yet. Trade's kind of funky. But yeah, keep an eye on those names that I told you on the Magnificent Seven. What happens with those is going to be a lead indicator of what's going to happen to the rest of the market. This Whitecoin setup is pretty fire, but nothing else has really kind of got my eye on the crypto market. Ondo, good buying area. If we're kind of talking about where does the market pull back to, like where's the structure, right? Like look at all this action. Now we're getting right back into that zone.
Big Ondo.
Yep. But yeah, guys, now is the time to look at those value buys, see what's a really good value. Pendle's a good value, Near's a good value, Render's a good value, Link is a good value, TRX is a good value. Those are kind of all the coins for the year. ETH. Stay away from Doge. Yeah, so I think right now is a really good time to keep picking up those long-term bags. I think we are nearing the bottom here soon. If there is that one more wave down, I already told you guys what that wave is, what that wave looks like. It's Bitcoin mid-70s, Ethereum to high 1500s, 1600s, and then that's where you'll get probably some of your last bottom buys before the market
Wait,
continues
why are
to
we
the
staying away
upside.
from Doge?
It's dead, bro.
You
When
think Doge is dead?
and Elon even said it. Elon even said it. Doge is going to have nothing to do with the government. Dogecoin.
I think Doge is gonna have a hated rally as well, or an unexpected rally as well.
Yep. So Eduardo said, if the market is reacting bearish to tariffs, am I the only one that thinks starting a tariff war is pretty dumb? So there's a lot of good and bad that comes with the tariffs, right? It makes stuff more expensive for us, for the average consumer, right? It makes it harder for us to buy stuff in the US, right? But what's the long term of it, right? Um, Prices go up in the US, but if companies start to make more jobs in the US and wages start to go up in the US, then it would kind of it would counteract, right? So if things cost more but everyone is earning more, that's great. And then um, every other country has tariffs on the US too, and it's always in that 20 to 25% range. Japan had it, Korea had it, China had it. All these countries were also they had a tariff tax on the U.S. too. All that Trump did theoretically is just equalize it. So yeah, it's going to make things harder in the short term, but what it's supposed to do is make the U.S. more money. And if US makes more money and actually puts it back into the economy, then that'll change things, right? But if they don't put it back into the economy, then and the US just makes more money and spends more money and makes more debt, then we're just fucked either way. Oh, damn it. I feel like you said the F word earlier
I
and
didn't. Stop trying to cope.
when we
Stop
were
trying to
talking about
project.
soul.
I didn't curse once. I didn't say that word once.
All right, it was at 1 hour and 1 minute. That's where it was.
All right, we're ending it here.
Well, we still got to bleep it out.
Yeah, I don't think you know how much of a pain in the ass bleeping stuff out is.
I don't.
It's really tedious for some reason.
Yeah. But like to expand more on the tariffs, right? Now, so most of the cars and most of the German cars that were all getting sent to the US, right? I said this on another live too. If you were buying Volkswagens or Audis, they used to say parts from Germany, assembled in Germany. As the years went, it said parts Germany, assembled in Mexico. And Trump was just saying, if you build your cars in the US, you'll get tax credits. You won't have those tariffs. So what is that doing? That's making car companies assemble in the US instead. Really similar to the play that Apple just did, right? Because of the tariffs that are coming, Apple is investing $500 billion. That's a $500 billion in the US only. They're building a massive headquarters in Texas, I believe, right outside of Dallas, to basically start production of iPhones in the US to avoid those tariffs. So what does that do? That it stimulates the economy with more jobs, higher wages, etc. So again, it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's all I got.
There you go.
Man, I can't believe I slipped up the last minute, huh?
Crazy. I'm honestly in shock. I really am. And I get lectured. This is your third market update slipping up.
Right at the end too. It's right when we cross the 60-minute mark. For some reason, my brain just loses it.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Take it easy.
Peace, everyone. Bye.
Peace out.